एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभਉ निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद। धन धन गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी महाराज, धन गुरु गोबिंद सिंह साहिब सच्चे पातशाह। भूल छिमो हमरी प्रभापन, भूलनहार कहाँ को मूसा। हवाए बंदगी अवुर दर वजूद मरा, वगरना ज़ौक़े चुनी आमदैन नमूद मरा। कमाले करामात कायम करीम, रजा बख्श राज़क रेहा को रही। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। We are visiting the Bani of the Japji and now nearing the culmination. The 38th Pauri, the one after the Khands, the journey or spiritual journey. This is somewhat of a magical Pauri for me. In this Pauri, Maharaj has put all the ingredients necessary for a spiritual life. If we are looking at the journey of life and we want to make it spiritual, we want to walk the path of spirituality, then all the ingredients necessary have been put here. Guru Maharaj has defined in this Pauri what is the wealth of life and how it is created. Who is the one who goes victorious from here? Who actually benefits from the system of creation which we all live in? Who are the people who go victorious, who take something from here which is meaningful, which has more longevity than what others take away from here? Life has two basic elements. We all live the identity life, the ego life. And there is another life which is on the foundation of this ego life, and that is the life of grace, the nadar, naam. We can look at it like this, that whatever we see in the physical, in the foundation of the physical lies the spirit. And most of us will look and know life through the physical relationships, through physical associations, through sight, senses. But life is not limited to only the physical aspects which we see, touch, hear and feel. In fact, those are the impermanent parts of life. They are not for very long. And they are transient, changing, and they are temporary. So in this way, this aspect of life which we can see through our senses is not real. It's like an opportunity to know what is real. The impermanence is valuable in the sense that it has a road towards the permanence. It has the key to open the doors of life which are more stable forever than the ones which we live in our physical life. The basic nature of human life, if it is limited to the physical existence, will be governed by hunger and fear, Krishna and Pay. These are the two elements which the ego will fear. Because ego is subconsciously aware that it is not forever. That whatever it has in its experience in the physical sense will go away. And that is why a Guru always inspires us to see life through death. पहला मरण कबूल, जीवन की छटास, हो सबना की रैन का, तब आओ हमारे पास. The two things which Guru Maharaj says is that accept that death is the central focus of life. There is a story of Guru Nanak in Sialkot, in which Maharaj sends Bhai Mardana with 2 coins to the market, and he tells him to buy Sach and Jhoot, truth and falsehood. And he goes the whole day. Bhai Mardana doesn't get an answer. But one shopkeeper keeps these 2 coins and writes on a piece of paper, Marna Sach, Jeena Jhoot. Guru Maharaj looks at that paper and is very elevated. He's very happy that someone knows life in its entirety. Someone knows life better than only the physical life we all lead. Marna Sach, Jeena Jhoot. This is the story of Mula Karyar. What I'm trying to say is that Guru Maharaj has taken us on a journey of the Japji, in which he has revealed to us the nature of life, how he has told us that the central focus of creation is one, Ek Omkar, and that is truth, Satanam. Everything else is false. It is truth with reflection to only certain frames. We can fix some rules for a house and say, these are the rules for this house. And their truth and falsehood will exist in that frame. But in reality, everything else is transient, changing, and not forever. Heraclitus, a Greek philosopher, says that man can never enter the same river twice. Life is changing. Man is changing. Relationships are changing. We are changing. We don't know who we are ourselves. We might be shocked by some attitudes which we may have to certain things, and we get alarmed ourselves, leave alone someone else. What is chiseling, forming, and creating our nature? What is guiding our destiny? What is giving us an understanding of that which life has in its core and which is more fruitful, where there is stability, security, where there is love defining the environment which we have. We live a very conflicted life. Our own thoughts and our mind is divided into segments. And modern psychology also says that we are not so stable. And as we are proceeding in this new environment which we have of electronics, our mind is becoming more and more distracted, more and more away from its own center. And therein lies the problem. Because what we look at life through certain conditions, through certain aspects, and we feel that if our careers are formed and if our families are happy, then we have found the ultimate realization of the good things of life. But all of that is just like a sandcastle. Maharaj often talks of life and says that "Jyo balu ki peeth," like a small mound of sand. That is how life is. Somewhere else he talks about life and he says, "Jaise tarwar ki chhaun," like the shadow of a tree, which is always moving, never stationary. And he talks about wealth, talks about knowledge, and he says, but these have an importance in a certain framework. Beyond that framework, beyond that stage which we have set for ourselves in life, what is meaningful? If I take a piece of paper and I write down what is important in life for me, what is my definition of my life, and what are my conditions for what will make me happy about life. Now there will be a mirror, an understanding of my own relationship to life and to my ego, my identity, and then the destiny. That paper will tell me about my experience of life. If that list of things which I write down, those conditions which I put, if even one of them lives beyond death, then that paper is invaluable. But if everything which I've written down in that paper is taken away by death, then my life doesn't have a very deep understanding of itself, that my experience of life is not as intense as it should be. Then I am playing a game which will end up in a loss. And I will probably be very hurt, upset and angry with the results. Either way. Life is complex if we look at it. And not many of us really have an answer to what is the shores of life where we find peace, where we find stability. This 38th Pauri gives us a synopsis of our inner mind, our approach to spirituality, and also gives us a way forward. In the Shlok and the Pauri which is there now, Maharaj has introduced a concept of wealth to us, taksal. Taksal is like a mint where wealth is coined. The coins are made in a mint. The government of India has 3 or 4 mints where they make rupees and coins. In a way, Maharaj is telling us that what is the wealth, what is the aspect of life which is defining human wealth? Is it the money in our bank, or is there something else? This is very important for us to understand, because we only know life through our experience of what is being taught to us, through the conditioned world, the conditioning. Our sitting in a school or in a university or at home, we are being taught. And in this teaching, we have been passed certain value systems, certain approaches to life. And those may not have the inherent values which life contains. Guru gives us maybe a different dimension. from the physical. What the world will tell us mostly is related to the physical relationships of life, the physical aspects of wealth and life which are connected to our body. But the body is like a boat, like a vehicle, like a transport. And if we look at life being like a river, the boat is the medium to cross the river. So is our experience of life. If we have understood life, then we can use this vehicle to cross. But what are we crossing? In this side of the river, there is the body, the physical relationships, the ego world, the conditioning, the status in society, our family, our careers, our businesses, wealth, whatever. On the other side of this river, on the other side of this flowing river, changing river, is what Guru Sahib has explained as a Nijkar, Nijthaun, more permanent home. We live in these houses of cement, iron, and we imagine these to be our houses, but these are temporary abodes. In Punjabi they are called saran, rest houses, hotels, motels, whatever you may say, temporary abodes. This is not a permanent stay. This is a way of getting our introduction to a permanent stay. If I take you back to the words of Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj, where he says, Gaviye, suniye, man rakhiye pao, dukh par har sukh kar le jaye. The last line when he says, sukh kar le jaye. Sukh, that sukh, which is not temporary, which cannot be taken away from me. A sadhu, sant, guru values that sukh, which is unconditional, which is not something which can be taken away from me. That is the sukh which Guru Granth Sahib, Guru Nanak is talking about when he talks about sukh. He does not talk about the sukh which is worldly. That may have its meaning. That may have its own space. Fair enough. But that is a temporary sukh. And that sukh lives with dukh. Sukh ko mange sabko, dukh na mange koi. Sukhe ko dukh agla, manmukh booj na hoy. Sukhe ko dukh agla. One who is sukhi, happy today, will be unhappy tomorrow. They live together. Because this is conditional happiness. Maharaj talks about a state of mind where happiness is the nature of that state. It's that environment, it's the aroma of that room where we enter. This is the meaning of spirituality, and we cannot be taken away from that by someone else. Nobody can intervene in that sukh, in that anand. The only one condition which Guru says to this sukh, and which in the 38th Pauri Maharaj will also tell us, is that this depends on Guru Prasad. This depends entirely on the Guru. The Guru's Prasad. The Mool Mantra has this Guru Prasad as the key last word. The rest are all adjectives. Maharaj tells us that in life, Guru Prasad will give us our Nijkar, our house, permanent, our Anand. And this is not something which someone can block us from. That is the beauty of this Anand. Now, when Sahib talks about this Sukh, when he says that Guru Prasad, but does that mean that I have to do nothing for it? I have to knock on the door and then only it will open. I have to prepare the ground and then the seeds will sprout of Guru Prasad. Subconsciously, I have to want it. I have to ask the question and the answer will come. I have to need it because there is a lot of energy involved in whatever we may need. If we have to do an MBA, we will spend some years in studying for that MBA. We want that MBA degree. That's why we are doing it. If I have targeted some amount of wealth to be earned, then I have to work towards it. Spirituality is the ultimate question of life. It is the answer to all illnesses, all pains, all sorrows, and all confusions. It is the only realm where there is absolute clarity about life. Everything else is all blurred, confusing, upsetting, disappointing, and always waxing and waning, changing, always coming and then going away. So, in the Zafarnama, Guru Sahib tells Aurangzeb that if you think that taking away these things from me, making me leave my house, my armies, my children, if you think that has made me sad, then you are mistaken. My source of happiness does not reside in these things. I may have found happiness in them, but that's not my foundation. Now here's the key of life. So I can relish life, but yet be free from it. I can enjoy the things of life, but yet not feel the sorrow which we would normally feel when those things are taken away from me. How does that happen? Maharaj says that the investment which we do can be divided into the physical realm and the spiritual realm. The sadhu invests in the spiritual realm, and that is an unseen investment. You can actually not see it, that all that is happening in the mind. When Guru Tegh Bahadur says, "Kati kho jo pai," पोप मत जो बास बसत है, मुकरमाए जैसे छाई, तैसे ही हर बसे निरंतर, काटे ही खोजो पाई. Maharaj says you go to the forest to look for God. Where is God? Where do I see God? Where does he live? Maharaj says, Kahe re ban khojan jai. Why are you running to the forest to see God? Sarab Nivasi Sada Lepa. One who lives everywhere and always unseen. Tohe Sang Samai, lives with you. Just think about that. We live our lives for 70 years, 80 years, 60 years, whatever. And God is living with us. And he explains, like there is a scent in the flower, the reflection in the mirror. Like that, God lives with us. And how do I find God? Maharaj says, Kathe ko jo pai. Now nobody really tells us to seek within. Very rarely do we get this lesson, seek within, and how do I go within. This is the 30th Pauri, which will tell us the tell us the necessary ingredients to go within. The transformation which happens of the mind. Everything, all these experiences of spirituality are an experience of the man. The transformation of the man from the ego mind to the non-ego mind. Where the investment is of the sadhu is in the non-ego mind, more in the non-ego mind. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Maharaj tells Aurangzeb, na sazo, na bazo, na fauzo, na farsh. Na saz, no method, no means, no royalty, baz, no armies, and no house, no mahal, no place to live. Yet, Khudavand bakshan de, o aish arsh. But my happiness is not from these things. I may have relished them, I may have enjoyed them, but they are not the foundation of my life. This is the key to understanding what is the core aspects of life. Maharaj says, Jaise jal mein kamal niralam, like the lotus lives in the flower, in the water. Murgai nesane, like the duck is in water. Surt shabad pav sagar tari, Nanak naam vakhane. They are not soiled by the water, they don't drown in the water. Like that, if you have been able to master the method of your surt with the shabad, then you have understood how to go beyond the physical aspects of life while living in them. Then you have Naam within you. Then life is not perceptions only, but an Anand within you, which you will find through Shabad. Japji Sahib is an understanding of the inner mind, the hukam of life, of what not to do. Soche soch na hovi, pukhe pukh na utri. 4 aspects he tells us. Bathing, intensely going to the pilgrimages, chuppe chup, being silent and thinking that you found God, thinking that you will satiate yourself by having more, and then you will find Creator. And then being intelligent and thinking you have figured it out. How do you find truth? Your Creator, your center of being. How do we find that? Maharaj here has defined life through hukum, raza and home. We all live in the home world. Maharaj says when we find the raza world, when there is no home, hukum raza hi chalna. Nanak likhya naal. In the raza of the Creator. Where my ego has submitted itself and merged with the Creator. Where the droplet has become the ocean. Where the identity world has been left behind. Hukam razai chalna, Nanak likhya naal. Creation is a very intense subject. More intense is the core values of creation. And what lies in the core of creation is love and anand, which we will never experience unless we go within. And then we will never be able to transcend death also. So wandering is the nature of ego. The ego life has wandering in it. But the non-ego life, the Naam, another world, the Gur Prasad, that is more stable. That has no wandering. That has satiation. There's no hunger. Let's read the 38th body And then we'll go into details of what each line is saying to us.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਜਤ ਪਹਾਰਾ ਧੀਰਜ ਸੁਨਿਆਰ ਅਹਰਨ ਮਤ ਵੇਦ ਹਥਿਆਰ ਭਉ ਖਲਾ ਅਗਨ ਤਪਤਾਓ ਭਾਂਡਾ ਪਾਓ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਤਿਤ ਢਾਲ ਘੜੀਐ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸੱਚੀ ਟਕਸਾਲ ਜਿਨ ਕੋ ਨਦਰ ਕਰਮ ਤਿਨਕਾਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਦਰੀ ਨਦਰ ਨਿਹਾਲ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ।
ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਮਨਦੀਪ। ਜਤ ਪਹਾਰਾ। We have in our options energy as one of our sources of life. This energy is what makes us live life. And our choices make this energy flow. Where and what we choose to do, where we want to go, there this energy will go. Life has limited energy. And we can use it in the way we want. Suppose I want to study physics, so I will put time and energy. Time and energy are the two things which are limited. Time being my breath, my life in its flowing mode. So I will choose, and I will spend some years in learning physics or mathematics. And in that choosing is how my life will transform itself, how it will change. Now, when I need to look at spirituality, then what are my options? What will I choose and how will I do it? So there is a conscious choice here. And this is the free will. Nature gives us a free will to a certain extent. But certain environments trap us, certain actions trap us. And every action is actually a trap, whether it's good or bad. So whatever I choose, I have to be, the more aware I am of life, the more right I will be about my choices. And there is the word jat is important. Jatan. Where do I conserve my energy and where do I put it? The more I invest in the physical, the more fluctuating, temporary and unstable my life will be. And the more I invest in the Atma, in the spirit, the more stable and secure life will be. Insurance policies don't give us that security which we are looking at in life. They give us a physical security. But life's insurances lie in our choices. And Maharaj is in this 30th Pauri telling us exactly this. What are my choices about life? Jat pahara. Effort is the pahara. It's when he is talking about this wealth, he is talking about this mint, and he's talking about a goldsmith as a simile, as a way of explaining to us the wealth of life. So the effort, the person will do the effort. He will hammer the coin, and he needs that effort, the pahara. So jat, that's my choice about what do I choose in life. A king, a sant, a saint, a guru, the ingredients are more or less the same. All of them have a body, all of them have a man, All of them live, breathe, but the net result is from what choices we have made. And this life will also give those results according to what we choose. And choices do come. Nature will give us choices according to what we are asking for. We are all calling. We are all wanting. We are all looking for something. Now we might feel that what we are looking for is at a certain place or a certain time. And we may be right or wrong about that, and that makes all the difference. We are all looking for happiness, permanent happiness. Where does that lie? In family? Does it lie in careers, businesses, wealth? Does it lie in education? Does it lie in status, in power, in money? Where does it lie? Certainly there is a certain amount of comfort and happiness in all these things. In family, in careers, in businesses, if this all settled well, there is a certain amount of comfort and happiness they give us. But those are not forever. Those are not without hindrances. Those are not stable enough to build the spirit on. So what are my choices is what my jat is. I make the right choices about spirituality and I hammer that in its place. And after that, I need to find an ocean of stability, patience, dheeraj sunyar. The actual doer in this whole concoction of spiritual life is dheeraj, is patience, an ocean of patience. Because life will bring millions of opportunities to deviate, to get irritated, upset, and to let go. And we do see that happening. That is how life is. Guru Prasad is not a cheap commodity. Sitting with the Guru is an expensive proposition in the sense that we can only gain from the Guru if we listen to the Guru. The 4 Pauris of Suniye are a foundation of inner transformation, and they are a part of giving up the ego. That is what tap is in its essence. We use the word tap in this body. Tap is giving up the ego. Whatever we may do in the physical mode, when we have given up our ego life, so the structure of the man has 2 different aspects to it. One is the changing mind, and one is the non-changing mind. Like a wheel moves, and the center of the wheel doesn't move. That is why the wheel moves. It's rotating, but the center doesn't rotate. Like that, the man has in its core a stable mind, which is what Maharaj is driving his point to. When he says, dheeraj sunyar, then he says that you will need a stable mind, air and mat. Mat is the ego mind. You can't deviate from this subject again and again. You can't be a wandering mind. Eh man shakti, eh man siyo, eh man panch tat ka jiyo. Now ego mind is eh man shakti. Shakti is the expression of Maya. Emansyo, the source mind, where the Maya is coming from, the source of the Man, the creator. Eman Panch Tat Ka Jiyo, and the 5 elements of the body are given the mind the expression, and it's come to form. The mind has found its life through its body, through life. It has broken its connection to its source. But we are all hungry to go back. Surnan, Munjan, Amrit khoj de. Amrit gurte paya. Amrit is what we are all looking for. Amrit has no death in it. So we are looking for happiness without death. And there the conflict. We are living a life which has death in its core. The ego mind and the ego world and the ego life is certainly going to die. Either way. The body will go, the ego mind will also go. So everything which we have found in this ego world will be destroyed or will be gone, will be shredded. Maharaj says, this Eman led you. Once we go beyond this changing mind, he says, Unman rahe. Then there is a state of mind called Unman. The teen log ki baatein kahe. Then you transcend time, space and cause. Then you transcend change. Then you have found Anand. Teen log ki baatein kahe. Maharaj, we all live looking at each other and we feel secure being in a certain group of people and doing the similar things because there we are accepted, and the other is our foundation. Jean-Paul Sartre calls the other is the hell. Hell is the other people. This is a play which he wrote in where there were no mirrors in the stage, and every individual needed the other person to understand who or he or she was. And that, Maharaj says, is your hell. When we don't know who we are, and we are always looking at the other, and that's the hell we all live. Then who are we? Aaron Mat Ved Hatyar. The understanding of this will come from stable mind and Shabad Guru. Ved is the Shabad, Hatyar. That is our tool. And we have just traversed the podis of the Panchkhand, in which Maharaj, in the Sram Khand, in the Mehnat, the Khand where there is effort, he says there is a transformation happening in the mind through Shabad. Shabad is where we find our solutions. Where there is Shabad, he says there is no dukh. Where there is Shabad, there is Anand. If you look at some of the podis in Asadibar, he says he's asking about the ego mind. Home kith upje, kith sanjam hai jaye. Where does the ego come from and how does it go away? Home eh hukm hai. This is part of the order of Creator. Paiye kirt phiraye. And this is the way in all of us are put into wandering through the home. Home dirag rog hai. It is the one disease of life. Daru bhi ismaye, and the healing will happen through the home. But what is the method, Maharaj? ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰੇ ਜੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਤਾਂ ਗੁਰ ਕਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਕਮਾਏ. If we find the grace, the kirpa, the nadar, then we find Shabad. And what does Shabad do, Maharaj? Kadiye surt mat. The mat is the ego mind, where my identity is there, and the surt is the egoless mind. It chisels, it carves away the unwanted aspects of the man. The man has to enter certain realms. It has to be subtle enough. And it gets tested. Is it ready to enter that realm? For this, the Shabad is our preparatory tool. It carves away the unwanted aspects of the man. The karmas, the dukh, the unfinished agendas, all hidden within the subconscious, unconscious mind. The desires incomplete. The pain and sorrows we hold on to as ourselves. We don't hold on to happiness. We hold on to pain and sorrows. Sant janam in har jas gayo. Kot janam ke dukh gavayo. If you sit with meditation with the Sant and sing the Creator's jas, then you will do away with a million, billion years lives of pain and sorrow. We hold on to that. They're all in our mind, in the subconscious. Ahran mat. Ved Hathyar. And this is the role of the Shabad, Ved Hathyar. The ego mind has its basic necessity, two ingredients with it. One is fear, the other is hunger. When Gautam Buddha talks about life, he says it is dukh. Life in its nature is dukh. In the Dhammapada, if he describes life, he says the nature of life is dukh. And the reason for that dukh is Trishna, is desire. And then he gives a third aspect to what is the way out then. So Maharaj says, fear is the basic ingredient of this ego mind. So these two emotions don't live together. Like Naam and Home don't live together. Ego and Naam don't live together. Home Naame naal virodh hai. Doe na bas ek thaye. Either we will be in Naam or we will be in ego. Like that, either we will be in fear or we will be in love. When there is love, there is no fear. So the energy system of life, which we need to transform, is from the ego mind to the Naam mind, to the another mind. From the fear mind to the love mind. Pao khala. And he says, use this fear. There is a fire, energy in this fear. Pao khala. Agan taptao. And the energy system is the fire from which the spiritual life will be driven. I'll give you an example. Baba Buddha was very small. I think he was around 10 or 12 years of life, or maybe even younger. I may be wrong in the age fact. He met Guru Nanak, but before he met Guru Nanak Maharaj, he saw the wood being burnt in a fire, and he saw that the smaller twigs burn faster, and he got fearful. I am young, I am small, I will get destroyed faster by life. Death will meet me faster. And this fear drove him to go to Sahib and ask these questions about life. And Maharaj said, you are a young boy, young child, you are talking like an elderly person. So the name Buddha came about. Brahmgyani. Brahmgyani meaning understanding life beyond the physical. Guru Baba Buddha became a sant, was with 6 gurus, and the annotation of the anointment of a guru from one to the other was given to him. He was the first priest of the Darbar Sahib. Fear was transformed to love. The fear is within us all. We all fear death. That's the ultimate fear. And every other fear is a reflection of that fear of death. Death is a loss. We meet losses every day. Emotional loss, physical loss, health loss, wealth loss, everything which we live through, there is a certain element of loss we meet every day. And that causes us to be fearful. Maharaj says that use this energy, use this fear as your spiritual fuel. Pao kala, agan, tap tao, and this is your penance, your tap. You're transforming the inner ego mind to non-ego mind is the tap. Dropping your ego. Sitting in the langar, doing cooking for someone else and not asking for a return. Cleaning utensils. Looking after the other's need, whom we don't know or claim anything from. A love comes to life and takes away the fear. If you are fearful, we are fearful about something, and fear is haunting us often, we must visit the langar and do seva. Seva is a way of giving up the ego. Sev karat hove neh kami. Seva is when you become desireless while doing good for someone else. Tisko hot prapat swami. Man beche Satgur ke paas. Tis sevak ke karaj ras. Maharaj, what is permanent about life? Sahib Zorawar Singh, Sahib Fateh Singh. 2 young children. Stand up to the ego, energy and power of the kingdom of India, the government of India. And don't give up their stand for spiritual choices. Don't give up their choice for the spiritual life. If you ever go to that Gurdwara, Jyoti Sarup, where they were cremated, what is permanent here? The choices which we take make it permanent or impermanent. If there were individuals like me, we would choose the physical wealth. We would choose power, money, status. But that's all spent away. There is nothing but like a writing on water. That is how life is. Sagal tarvar ki chhaam. A shadow of a tree moving when the sun moves. All is in movement. Maharaj says, man ko koi khojo pai. Search within your mind. That is a question we should ask ourselves. Do we ever get this opportunity to search within our mind? And we find wandering thoughts. And we said, everything is wandering. There is nothing stable. And in that wandering thoughts, we also get moved. We don't find stability. We don't find any ground to stand on. It's all so fast. The thoughts are so much. Because we only know the ego world. Ego is, the thoughts are driven from the ego mind. Home. And we live only the ego mind. We don't live the love for the Creator. Pao khala agan tap tao. And then this tap, it does something magical. Panda pao. And your man becomes a utensil to carry Amrit in it. Amrit tit tal. Now the fear is gone and love has come through Amrit. Pao khala, agan tap tao, panda pao. Pao is fear, pao is love. The fear gets transformed to love. And the utensil for carrying the Amrit. Where, Maharaj? The man becomes the utensil. Amrit. It's a source of immense love. That is what the Guru gives us. He takes away the transient, changing and temporary and gives us a permanent source of happiness and love. That is the wealth of life, which no one can take away from us. Yes, we can have a physical life which is troubled. Certainly it can be. But the foundation of life is absolutely untroubled. Like we are walking through a forest which is in storm, but yet our feet are on firm ground, and nothing touches us when we traverse this route. Panda pao, amrit tit tal, kadiye. This is the word he used in the Sramkhand. Kadiye surt mat man buddh. When man becomes buddh, man becomes aware, man becomes awareness of what is the real man. What is the tirath within my man? Suniye maniye man ki tapao. Antarkat tirath malna. When I go into my inner mind, I find tirath, I find pilgrimage, I find a celebration of love and anand. Kadiye surt mat man buddh. Kadiye. And this karna, this transformation of the man, to make it ready for its journey to the permanent thirgar. What is happening in that thirgar? Thirgar baiso har jan pyare. Satgur tumre kaaj savari. All our issues are resolved. Necessary thing is that we make the mind stable. Without that, the Shabad will not have its results. Kadiye Shabad Sachi Taksal. This is the taksal, the mint, the wealth center of life. That wealth which cannot be taken away, can't be intervened in, can't be transformed. We can't be forced to leave it. Kadiye Shabad Sachi Taksal. After the mind is transformed, the nadar comes, the grace will come. Jinko nadar karam tinkar. Those who have nadar, karam word in Sanskrit means action, in Persian means grace, nadar, blessing. Jinko nadar, karam tinkar. They will do this work who are ordained, who are marked. Nanak Nadri Nadar Nihal. Nihal, beyond themselves, beyond the ego mind. Maharaj says, in this nadar, we find that place where we will find rest and peace, where the water droplet will become the ocean. ज्यों जल में जल आए खटाना, त्यों ज्योति संग ज्योत समाना, मिट गए गमन पाए विश्राम. This is the key of life. मिट गए गमन, wandering ceases. पाए विश्राम, and we find rest, not for some time, some days, some months, some years, forever. And who does this? How does this happen, Maharaj? Either it happens through physical guru, or aspect of any guru will be through Shabad. Whether there is physical guru or not, Shabad is the transformative energy. And how do we meet Shabad? Gaviye, suniye, man rakhiye pa. The Mool Mantra is Shabad. The Shabad is the presence of the Creator in every aspect of life. Ever present. This energy system is all Shabad. And we connect to this Shabad through the Guru Granth Sahib. So the Guru has three ways, darshans of Guru are three. One is the Creator, the energy which is present everywhere. And to me that means Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Maharaj, Guru Nanak Sahib Hajur. Gurus are all present everywhere at any time. They are part of creation, indivisible part of creation. When we sometimes make these papers for the land ownership, in that it is written undivided part. So your stake is on every single inch of that property. You have that share. They are present in creation in its entirety. And they do visit. They certainly visit. Those who call, they visit. This is what Sahib is inviting us for. They are here for a spiritual commitment of life. When in the Sikh Gurus, Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj is asked this question, Kis karan grahta ji udasi? What's the reason you have left life and are wandering? Kis karan hai pekhnevasi? And why are you wearing these clothes? Because he used to change his attire wherever he went. So the Siddhs, this was a question I think asked in the Sumer Parbat when he was up in the mountains. Rita Sahib, he went to Nanak Mata, Rita Sahib, and then he went higher. Why are you wandering here? Why have you left your family and wandering? Maharaj says, Gurmukh khojat payudasi. I am searching for the Gurmukh. I am searching for those who are seeking spirituality. That is the role of the Guru. Satgur ke janme gaman mitaya. When we meet the Guru, our wandering ceases. This is our choice. We can seek a life which is temporary, physical, or we can try and find the deeper solutions of life, the spiritual aspect of life. Maharaj is inviting us to do that. And then he says, Nanak Nadri Nadar Nihal. In this Nadar is the solutions of life. Nadar Nihal. We go beyond our ego mind into the inner world. This is those aspects of life where there is no death. ना ओ मरे ना ठागे जाए, जिनके राम बसे मन माए. What does it need? It needs sangat of Shabad, dhyan of Shabad, kadiye Shabad sachi taksal. Making Shabad our wealth, our taksal, our mint. And then now we are left with the shlok of the Japji Sahib. Maybe we do a synopsis of the entire Japji next time. The 38th pauri, the magical pauri of the Japji, to me, which has all the ingredients we need to understand the spiritual life. Forgive my errors and my slips. I can never do justice to Maharaj's Bani. And with prayers for all of us, I ask for forgiveness and his nadar, his love. जिन प्रेम कियो ते नहीं पर पायो, पाख्या पाओ अपार. Thank you so much. In your coming, I meet my Guru. If you have any questions or would like to say something, you can raise your hands. If you're on YouTube, you can post your question and you can try and address it. Japji is meeting Maharaj Guru Nanak Sahib Hajur. The solutions of life. Thank you so much. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa. Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh. After the questions, if there are any, we will end the session in Anand Sahib. Anand Peha meri maaye, Satguru mein paya. Ji Maharaj. Vaheguru Ji.
Can you please explain again the Pankti Bhanda Bhav Amrit Dal?
The man is full of fear, it can never receive any grace. When we are fearful, we are lack of any foundation. We can't hold on to much. The fear consumes us and it destroys our ability to be stable. But when the fear gets transformed through tap to love, bhav, then it becomes a part of the man which is full of beauty and a receptive utensil for Amrit, which is the core energy of the man, Naam. Amrit is love and Anand, love and joy together forever without death. It's the core part of all creation. It's the meeting of our man with its real roots, a source of the man. Amrit tit tal, and this Amrit finds its presence in the man, in the utensil of the man. Panda. Ji Maharaj.